Hi, I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm at Floral Abundance Design Days. It's a fabulous 3-day educational extravaganza, and I get the opportunity to sit by the fireside with BJ Dyer, a wonderful friend who has joined me here in Santa Barbara in doing a presentation for the Floral Abundance Design Days. He started on the very first day at the Floral Abundance Warehouse. We were surrounded by amazing floral materials. And surprise to me, I didn't know he was going to be here doing a presentation for Design Master. And I had to ask, BJ, how did this work out and what are you doing here?
Well, it's great to see you too. I came to represent Design Master because they needed somebody to talk to this group about their new product, Ubermat. Design Master knew that I love their product, that I've educated myself about the possibilities and what it can do, and they thought, since they've seen me present other places, perhaps I would be a good person to do that. The reason I agreed was because I want to continue educating myself. This group does weddings in a different way than I traditionally have, and I looked forward to the opportunity to be here to see what they do, to open my mind to other possibilities and to learn what's so popular on Instagram and Facebook right now with the young brides.
It is so amazing. You are a classic trained florist, an AIFD designer. You've been in the business for more years than either of us like to admit. I always tell people, oh, we must have started when we were really young. And you are amazingly talented. But like me, you reach out to these new. As you attended the different workshops with the different designers and had the opportunity to chat with them, what is your biggest takeaway that you came with?
Well, I think I have gone back with what I was looking for, which is to try to understand more what they're thinking or what their thought process is when they put together arrangements that don't have the traditional form that I'm used to, a different type of balance. It has its own balance, but when you're trained in asymmetrical balance and a certain style of that, it was hard for me to see that just from seeing the pictures on Instagram. Watching them create it in person, it helped me to understand what they pick first, where they put something in, and how they try to balance it in their eyes, which is a very natural, I don't want to say, well, it's not constrained by traditional styles that we've been educated with. And I can't say that I've perfected it yet, but I learned how they do it, and I plan to go back and practice it a lot. When something becomes that popular, it's up to us who have been around for a long time to really study and see what this new style is. One of the things that I have seen is that when bedhead first came along in hair design, that was something that happened sort of organically, that kids were doing, and then other people would go to their hairdressers and say, I want this too. So the hairdressers had to actually go figure out how to do bedhead and how to teach that, because it was something that kids with a lot of style who knew how to use product could just go with a certain cut and make it happen, and then trying to copy that without having their magic hands, they had to actually develop that. And that's what I want to do, is figure out these people that are doing this in a very natural sense, and that what they're doing is appealing to a customer who wants that for their wedding. You can't just fake that. You have to go to the source and see how they did it. And so I'm sort of learning how to do bedhead for flowers.
That is a great analogy, and it is so true, because they do have all of the proper mechanics and such. They're going back. It's almost the reinvention of Constance Spry from so many years ago, but with a new contemporary creative edge. So now, as a classic trained florist, if you had one tip to share with florists that are just getting started, that are wanting to begin a career, what would you share with them?
All I can share is my own experience, and I can tell you that when I first started 30 years ago, I was copying, a lot of copying, because there wasn't anything else I could do. It always had my own twist to it, but I would see a magazine article that had so-and-so's design in it, and so I'm sort of studying that and trying to figure out what they were doing, and then I would see somebody else did a style and I sort of copy that with my own little twist. But when I would go, for instance, to a competition, I always felt like an imposter, because what I was doing was a copy of somebody else, and I felt weird about that. I think for maybe the first 5 or 6 years that I was a florist. But out of that, I started liking things that I was doing and not liking other things, and my own style came out of it, to a point where a few years after that, that was gone. I had become my own true self. And I think you just don't worry about that. You want to absorb as much from others as you can. There's no reason to have to reinvent and go through the pain of learning when somebody else has already learned it. Take what they have figured out from their life experience, absorb that into your own, and then add your own sense that comes only from you, that nobody else can duplicate, because you're an individual person. Don't worry, that'll all come together. Copy, absorb, take learning, and then somehow in that mix, when it comes back out, it'll have your name on it, and people will start to recognize your own style as your own.
Great bit of advice. It's so much fun to be here in Santa Barbara with the young generation, and then those of us that have been in it for a little while, and merging the two in a fabulous collaboration. If you have the opportunity, check out the website, flowerschool.com. You'll find more videos with more of the presenters, photographs, so much to see. And then it's your turn to do something you love.